everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Cities of Sigmar and the Mortal Realms of Age of Sigmar. Yes, we are back once more with Erasmus Zonn, the Enlightened one. Here he is, all new wizard, on a mount of some description. It's a bird, it's a horse, it's a goat, it's all things. It's a snake as well. So a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop, who sent me this one early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we're going to do starting now. So the colour we're going to be using first, after I've told you that he's been primed in Wraithbone, the colour we're going to be using first is Seraphim Sepia. And we're going to be applying this over the top of the entirety of the bird, excluding the 3 rows of really large feathers. And we're also going to dodge applying this over the top of the snake as well. We're going to do that slightly differently a little bit further down the line. For now, we're going to apply this over the top of this sort of bunched bits of feathers, and of course all the smooth muscles of the flesh, and so on and so forth. With all of that Seraphim Sepia applied, what we're then going to do is take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Coelia Greenshade. And we're going to apply this over top of this kind of, well, all of the feathers first and foremost, but we're also going to be applying this over a little bit of the Seraphim Sepia bits. So what we've got is we're basically going up to this little section just here, like that. And we're going along here, this Coelia Greenshade. Like that, and then we're going to put it down the rest of the wing. Whilst we wait for that Coelia Greenshade to fully dry, we're going to take some Magos Purple and we're going to apply this over top of the bird feet. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Talassar Blue mix. I'm going to do a bit of blending here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start closest to these Seraphim Sepia feathers. And we're going to apply this, like so, going all the way along the next row. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to blend this into our Coelia Greenshade. With that all done, we are then going to take the same mix again, 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Talassar Blue. We're going to apply this over top of the entirety of this set of wings, or feathers, I should say, like so. Apply it over the top of the next rung up as well. Like that. And then what we're going to do is over the tips of the next rung, we're going to apply just a little bit. So we're going to apply a little bit like this. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and we're going to blend it back the other way. So with that all done, we're then going to do a very similar thing, only this time we're going to use a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Akhelian Green. And we're going to apply this over top of the first sort of half of the next rung along. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to blend it. Like so. And then we're going to apply the top of the entirety of the next bit. Like so. And then we're also going to apply this over the tips. Like that. Flip it round. Wash the brush. Then we're going to blend it back the other way. And with that all done, we are then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Ultramarines Blue. And we're going to do the same thing, but on our final rung of feathers. So we're going to apply this like so. Wash the brush. Touch off the water. We're going to blend it into our Akhelian Green. And then, because we've got no further rungs, apply this just over the tips, like so. Wash the brush, flip it round, and give it the blends, like so. And one thing I would say, I haven't been saying it all along, is we're also doing this over the top of the inside, but we're just doing full layers of this. So the next thing is going to be a full layer of Ultramarines Blue and Lahmian Medium on the inside of the wings as well. And so with that all done, just whilst we're sort of waiting for all this to fully dry, we actually are going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Talassar Blue. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the area where we did that Coelia Greenshade on the Seraphim Sepia. So we want it to just be a little bit bluer. However, we don't want this to be fully blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the whole thing like that. And then we're going to wash the brush. We're going to very aggressively take our brush and blend it off. So with that all done, we're going to move on from the wings for now. We are going to just get the rest of the base coats based in, and then we will do some other stuff. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Poxwalker, and we're going to apply this over the top of the snake. And then next up we're going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over the top of the hooves. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some Gore-Grunta Fur. And over the top of our beak head, what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the sort of base of the beak. So we're going to be applying this over this little section just here. Like so. And then we're also going to apply this on the underside of the beak, but we are then going to blend it. And that, wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just soften out the transition. And with that Gore-Grunta Fur apply, we've also applied it over the top of both sets of eyes of both heads and inside the ears of our bird. But what we're going to do next is we're going to take some black Templar. And we're going to apply this over the top of the beard. Here. We're also going to apply this over the top of the billy goat's ears. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the beak of our bird head. And then on the underside of it, we're going to blend this into the Gore-Grunta Fur. So continuing with Black Templar, what we're going to do here is we're going to apply this over the top of the entirety of the snake's top half. Now there is a design, there's like a sort of striped scales thing that's going on, and we could try and apply that now, but I actually think it's going to be easier to just add it in later rather than mucking about. And the other thing we're also going to do with the Black Templar is going to apply it over the top of the inside of the wings. But we'll get to that in a minute, because we're going to thin it down just a little bit for that. And so, as promised, we are now going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Black Templar. We're going to apply this over top of the inside of the wings. With that all done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of our goat's horns. And with that Wyldwood all applied, we're then going to use some Sigvald Burgundy, and we're going to apply this over top of the inside and the teeth of the snake, and we're going to apply this over top of the tongue of the bird. And with that all done, we are then going to take some Berserker Bloodshade. I'm going to apply this over top of our Magos Purple feet. Just here. And another detail I forgot to tell you about is that we also applied Black Templar over the top of the talons. So with that all done, before we go any further, we're actually going to just work on getting the mount up to, well, the finished status. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down Deepkin Flesh. And we're going to do two things with this. Firstly, we're going to use this around this blended section to add little relayer. Like that, using lots of little brush strokes to make it as bright as we possibly can. But the other thing we are going to do with the Deepkin Flesh is we're going to use this to draw in the pattern on the snake. Just going to pick a place to start. We'll start like right up here. And we're just going for a sort of irregular single layer. Of scales. Going all the way along. So with that Deepkin Flesh all applied to those areas, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to dry brush the lightest part of the feathers and the rest of the Seraphim Sepia. And we're also going to use this to dry brush the heads at the front of the body, and we're also going to use this to dry brush the feet. We are going to bring this Screaming Skull down onto this first rung of feathers. But we're not going to bring it across these back two. With that Screaming Skull dry brush all applied, we are then going to take some Lothern Blue. I'm going to use this to dry brush the darker blue parts of the outside of the wings, and we're going to use this to dry brush the inside of the wings. And with that Lothern Blue all applied, we're then going to take some Baharroth Blue. And we're going to concentrate this dry brush in two places. One is over this kind of central blend on the next rung down. Like that. And we're also over the very tips of the outside of the wings going to add just a little spot highlight. So with that all done, we're now going to take a little bit of some Dawn Yellow. I'm going to use this to pick out all of the eyes, including the snake. So with that all done, the mount is now finished. So what we're going to do is move on to the mount, kind of. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Cygor Brown to 1 part Lamy medium mix, and we're going to apply this over top of the tack. And so with that all done, we're now going to take some Asurmen Blue, and we're going to apply this over top of the field of the armour on the bird, the field of the armour on Erasmus Zonn, and we're also going to apply this over top of his inner robe. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Seraphim Sepia once again, and we're going to apply this over top of the ruff and over top of his gloves. And then next up we take some Flesh Tearers Red, and we apply this over top of his cushions. And with that all done, we then take some Guilliman Flesh, and we apply this over top of Erasmus's visible skin. And with that all done, we actually do have a little bit more Cygor Brown and Lamy medium, so roughly 2 parts Cygor Brown to 1 part Lamy medium mix to apply. And this is over the top of the wooden box back here, and over the top of the 2 straps holding the books and scrolls. With that all done, we're then going to take some Casandora Yellow, and we're going to apply this over the top of the lantern. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Lamy medium to 1 part Frostheart mix, and we're going to apply this over top of his sort of staff topper. With that all done, we're then going to take some Space Wolves Grey. I'm going to apply this over top of the saddle blanket, which is just hiding right under here. And we're also going to apply this over top of the book covers and the scroll covers, holders. And then next up, we're going to take some Soulblight Grey. We're going to apply this over top of Erasmus' cloak. And then next up, we're going to take some thinned down Lead Belcher. And we're going to apply this over top of Erasmus's staff. We're going to apply this over top of the lantern back here. And we're also going to apply this over top of any belt buckles scattered around. There's quite a few of these. For example, just up here on the bird. And with that all done, we now take some thinned down Retributor armor and we apply this over top of all of our remaining details. This is going to be all like the armor trim, the sort of locks and things on the box on the back, his helmet, all that good stuff. So with that Retributor armor all applied, the sort of winged shape up here on the helmet is also white, so we've applied Soulblight Grey over the top of that. It's not immediately obvious, but it will be when we highlight it. But our next thing to do is to add some shades, and what we're going to do is we're going to start with some Carroburg Crimson, and we're going to apply this over top of all of the silver. And with that Carroburg Crimson all applied, we then take some Reikland Fleshshade. We use this to shade all the gold. And with that all done, there's one thing we've actually neglected this entire time, which is to take some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over top of the pages of the book and the bits of the scrolls. So with that all done, Erasmus Zonn is at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. Even though he's not, he's quite a way beyond that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add just one layer and a couple of highlights. There really isn't a whole lot left to do on this one to finish it off. So we're going to start with that layer, and the first of these is going to be some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to relayer his robe, relayer the lightning bolts, and on the back here you've got the city design there, just nestling in amongst the blue, that we're also going to be using this Corax White to relayer. With that Corax White all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down white scar, and we're going to use this to highlight those white details. With that white scar all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Lothern Blue. I'm going to use this to add a couple of little blue highlights to the shoulders, basically. There's a little bit of the underrobe just here. We can also add a little highlight too, but there isn't a lot of hard blue edges. So with that all done, we want to take a teensy tiny little bit of Black Legion. I'm going to apply this over top of Erasmus's eyes. And with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. And we're going to use this to highlight the gloves. I'm going to use this to highlight his ruff slash beard. This is what I think it actually is. We're also going to use this to add a little line highlight across the sharp edge in the lantern. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to take a teensy tiny little dot of this and apply this in the sharpest in the corners of Erasmus's eyes. And so with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. And with that silver all highlighted, to finish off Erasmus Zonn, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. We're going to use this to highlight all the gold, except for one thing, where we're going to fully relayer, excluding the recesses, where the shade is settled, which is going to be the helmet. And there we have it, with the base all complete. Erasmus Zonn the Enlightened one is now finished. And, well, whilst I've done the box art here, he is a really good model for experimentation with different colours, because there's so many different textures and things going on here. You've got scales of a snake, you've got flesh of a horse, the feathers of a bird, the talons of a bird. There's so much going on here, and it's a really cool model. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.